That's why they pay. Listen, I mean, I hate to interrupt, but you're right. Folks, he's not just saying this. That's why they pay tax incentives to leave. That's why only the U.S. and Western Europe and Canada and Australia and New Zealand have to do the carbon cuts. They're saying in the next 2 to 10 years, or phasing in over the next 10, that will destroy what's left of our industry. China and India don't have to make those cuts. This is designed to shut us down. Go ahead.
Well, I think the best example of that is the credit fiasco that's going on with credit cards. And by the way, information came into me, I think, over the weekend that Chase was down on their credit card processing from people that actually work for Chase. So I think that what people have got to understand is, look, we were all sold this bill of goods called what would you call it? Forever prosperity, or prosperity forever. And just the houses would never go down, your job is secure, blah, 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 and go out and borrow 125% of your house or your home's value. What people don't understand is the court. This is what's important. When Amschel Rothschild made the statement, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who writes its laws, Jesus said, the love of money is the root of all evil, and I'm saying that they who control the money control the evil. Look at it's now changed from those evil bankers that are caught literally, with their $500 million golden parachutes, and now it's all the Patriots' fault. And we're all a bunch of racists. Alex, I used to write extensively on Cold War scenarios for war, given the access I was given to different documents and people over the years. And I have sat down with double agents, both the United States government and former Russian agents, after the break of Soviet Union in public, and they said, you Americans are so stupid. We're going to steal your country. Now, I'm not just saying this is a Russian thing. And we're going to generate a civil war. Now, if you look at it, and they said, and even people who have argued against you in all these years, now they can't deny it when they're out of a job, when their 401's 201K or whatever, it's half of what it's worth. And by the way, 60 Minutes did a piece on that. I've told people, you've told people, look, they've got to get out of their 401Ks or IRAs, but the same group of sinister scumbag international elitists are sucking the last dollars out of the American population's pockets by saying, oh, what a buying opportunity, what a bottom line. You're going to have Gerald Celente on in the next hour, aren't you?
Yes.
And Gerald has said, look, it's going to be revolution in the streets. And the thing that's important for people to understand, ladies and gentlemen, I use the term whisper of time left. And the point is that you have got to stand up. You can't just count on Alex Jones, though you can. You can't just count on me and all the other voices out there. It's got to be your voice. And I'm serious, Alex. Every single veteran should be writing a letter to their congressmen and senators demanding Janet Napolitano's resignation.
And let me stop you. It's not that they even so much listen. It's a trial balloon. They admit this. They're always testing things. Notice Obama said a month ago, we're going to put satellite tracker boxes in all your cars and tax them by the mile. The public said no. They backed off, but they're still going to try it later. They do this on every single issue. Like he's saying, I don't want to ban all your guns now. It's too politically unpopular. And then his own people snicker in Congress. Yeah, we've got to rob them all first. And it is the fact. Imagine you're the globalists. They want to bring the U.S. down. It's always been their main target. They've used us as an engine of the New World Order. Now they're done with us. What do they do about 100 million gun owners? They use that against us. They can't march out against us, so they destroy the economy. Crime breaks down. Society breaks down. The military is already trained and ready to go out on the streets. Then they stage shootouts between patriots and the military. They send the military into missions where the patriots will fight them. Then the globalist main enemy that I've been saying for years, and now it's public news, the military and the American people kill each other. That's what three-dimensional real chess in the New World Order is all about. They are divide and conquer at multi-levels. Everything they do is divide liberal for a conservative, black from white. Everything they do is divide military from the people, police from the people, so they can play us off against each other while they sit back offshore and do it. Steve, what do we do then, knowing they're running this psyop and how they're hyping the rioting and all of this and pushing it?
Well, the Brotherhood of Darkness cannot stand the light, but even more than that, there is the ability to resist. The Bible says, resist the devil and he will flee. First thing people have got to understand, and you've built this case so many years, Alex, is that this is a supernatural, Lucifer-worshipping cadre of intensely evil people. And you can't even put evil in the context of the standard understanding
It's
of
basically 1,000 Sith Lords.
Well, absolutely. And then I'd add on steroids, okay?
Yes.
Because again, the thing that we've got to realize, and not only realize, is this: they can be held back. Whether they can be stopped or not, you and I both know if they go to their dirty deed bag of tricks and use a hyperplague. And for the record, I was the first guy almost 15 years ago talking about the reconstitution of the 1918 Spanish
No, I know.
flu.
When I first heard you 15 years ago, I remember, Steve, everything. I remember you were saying, 15 years ago, get out of the derivatives right when they were starting. Stay there. Steve Quayle, straight ahead. A lot of news, a lot of analysis, key information. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. I've told you for a long time it's important to be self-sufficient, and today that's more important than ever. We need to be independent, and food and water is the key. You'll never have to stand in a bread line if you have your own bread. You'll never have to go to the Superdome and beg for FEMA to take care of your family in any emergency if you simply prepare. No one is going to take care of your family in the final equation but you. You know eFoodsDirect.com is still able to ship storable food that's safe from E. coli, salmonella, genetic alteration, or Chinese imports. And they do it at almost half the cost of last year's grocery prices. Call 1-800-409-5633. Or on the web, go to eFoodsDirect.com. Visit eFoodsDirect.com and look over the fine list of high-quality, freeze-dried, and dehydrated foods they have to offer. Watch the free videos. Look at their online catalog. Or give them a call at 1-800-409-5633. Again, 800-409-5633. Or on the web at eFoodsDirect.com. Take action today. The first step is getting storable food. Steve Quayle. We know since at least the late 1970s, everything the federal government has done is prepare for massive emergencies and taking over county and city governments. John Warner Defense Authorization Act, PDD 51, and others clearly state that the attack is based on the governors and the Congress, that the government will, that the illegitimate National Security Council, as the Washington Post reported last month, is basically already in a dictatorship through Northcom, through Space Command, which is, there's a real Space Command, but the public isn't even aware of it, even though it's published. This is the real government. They're gearing up for bird flu. We know that they put it in the vaccines in Europe, shipped it all over the world. Suddenly we're getting Reuters and London Telegraph articles about people dying being given the vaccine. Weird trials where they tell people it's one shot and give it to them and they die. Do you think we're really coming up to the point where they're going to do it? Because in my gut, I've never been so upset.
Absolutely. And, Alex, I think the time may have already been telegraphed by FEMA. You know, their national level exercise that's coming on through the 27th to 31st of July. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
And the situation that's going to be telling on that, and I think most people need to understand this.
Now, tell folks about it who may not be aware.
Okay, well, the FEMA national level exercise is going to go on throughout the country, and it's all scaled around domestic terrorism. Now, why this is critical is because command, control, and communication is the key. And during an exercise, you and I have always cautioned, and most people are alert enough that listen to us to know now, that when there is an exercise taking place, it could be a cover for the real thing.
Yeah, when back in 2000, when they released the weaponized foot and mouth, they later admitted accidentally out of Porton Down in England, they were doing an exercise around the country, and then magically it popped up in a 2-day period where they were doing the exercise.
Absolutely. And so the thing that's important for everyone to recognize, it only takes one command word from Northcom to change it from an exercise into full-scale implementation. Now, Alex, I've been talking to too many people in the background about Henry Kissinger's statement about there will be no private firearms ownership in the United States after September this year. So if it's going to take 30, 60 days to slaughter everybody they're going to slaughter, and, you know, I get a lot of flack, Alec, when I talk about this, but I can tell you point blank is that right now we're seeing that quelling or the ending of all First Amendment rights, period, okay?
And they've announced they're getting, we know the government's wargaming, attacking people's systems through the Internet, and with Jay Rockefeller saying we'd be better off without the Internet.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is that, and I want to share this, I'm going to be posting today later an orange alert, and it's going to basically make the appeal to everyone who's taken their oath of office. And I know you've had the Oath Keepers head guy on and stuff, but what I don't think people understand is that over the next several months, law enforcement and the military are going to be given unlawful, illegal orders and unconstitutional orders to round up and purge dissidents against all the New World Order crowd.
Now, you've never talked like this, Steve. You're saying you believe they're preparing to move. How do we short circuit them doing that?
Well, first of all, we know for a fact that we've been able to short circuit by exposing this stuff, okay? Now, all I know as Alex, I believe we're buying time. We're buying time for people to get prepared. But the fact is that the red list, and the red list is still a real list. You know, it's funny, isn't it, that we've been getting...
Well, they now have the no-fly list with over 1,100,000 totally innocent people on it. And now they're saying that's going to be a no-buy list. Go ahead.
You got it. See, it goes from no-fly to no-buy. And also, let me share this. All the globalists have had to do is stop the importation of goods. And that's why, you know, obviously we're seeing guns and we're seeing firearms and ammunition, short supply, blah, blah, blah. But it goes all the way through the whole system. People are saying they go to this mart, that
mart, or any mart. The military refuses
to
sell its brass now to the gun manufacturers for ammo.